Okay, so this project here is going to be a pixel macrame done to look like a snowflake. I've chose gray and white as my two options, and this is 1mm cord. With the design that I created on my graph, we are going to need 31 cords put in on our dowel rod with a lark's head knot. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've pre-cut 31 white cords. They are about 80 centimeters in length, and I'm folding them in half. We're taking it over the dowel rod, bringing it behind, taking our long cords, putting them through the loop, and just giving it a pull, and that'll tighten it up. We're going to do that 31 times, running across the board. I'll be back when that's finished. Now that you have all 31 cords, you're going to go back over to your graph and look at your graph and see what your first color is going to be. And for me, the first color is going to be gray because I want to have a gray background with a white snowflake. So I need to get about, I don't know, 60 centimeters or so of the gray. And we're going to attach it to the end here. We're going to put this on the top, put the gray on the bottom. And then we're going to make a loop, go behind the white, and pull the gray out. That's going to be one loop. Then we're going to do the same thing, loop around, go behind the white, pull your gray, and then slide it upwards. This is going to give you your vertical half hitch knot. You do not want to make these knots too tight. You want these two cords to be able to sit side by side. If you pull it too tight, they're going to want to crisscross, and it's going to make your work extra tight, and it won't flow quite as nicely. So just give it a snug pull. This gray can go in the back for right now. And our long gray we're going to continue working with. This is going to be our working cord. And these are all of our filler cords. So we're going to take our next filler cord, bring it to the front. We're going to do another vertical double half hitch knot. So again, we're going to just take this filler cord on the top, lead cord on the bottom, take it over, behind, up, and through. Give it a little tug up. You can kind of help slide it into place. You just don't want it to be too tight. You're going to do your second one. And then that is a finished knot for that filler cord. Then you're ready to move on to the next one. You're just going to continue to repeat this process until you get all the way to the other side. So your filler cord goes on top, lead cord goes around the white, behind the white, and up through. That's loop one. Kind of slide that up into place. And then do the same thing again. And that is all we are going to do, is the vertical double half hitch knots. We're just going to do it in a pattern. Right now it's going to be quite simple because we're just using gray. We're not going back and forth, but here shortly we will be transitioning colors. So again, you take your next one, bring it to the top. Make your knot. Lightly tug it up into place. A little snug, but not too tight. And we're going to run this the whole way across again till we get to the other side. So all 31 strands, or 31 groupings, are going to get this gray. I'm actually going to be doing 3 rows of gray to get started. On to the next one. I'm just tightening up the lark's head knots just a little bit before I put that first knot in, so that they're all consistent and have, you know, the same spacing between them and the same tightness to begin with. Like this one here is really loose. You can see how loose that is. So we're just going to give us similar spacing that we see here. And you just tighten it in place. Give it a little tug and tighten that in place. Then you're ready to work with it. It's only going to be needed when you do your first row. After that, everything should just line up perfectly for you. Tighten that up. Bring it up. Make your second knot. And now I'm going to just speed it up until we get to the end here. You're doing the same thing here all over again, all the way down here to get to the end. Okay, so here our cord is too short. We're going to want to add some more gray on because we are doing 3 rows of gray. So to add more on, you do your first knot, get your second knot ready, leave that loop in there, get your next piece of cord that you're working with, and kind of put it through the gray and under the white. And just give it a little bit of a tail. And then slide this up into place. Okay. Now, this cord is going to go in the back. So you just kind of hide it back there in the back. Okay. And then our long cord we're going to continue working with. Our short cord we're going to put in the back, but we're going to actually add it in as we go along. So let's pick up our next 2. Okay. Put your short tail behind it. Actually take your long tail behind as well. Make your first part of your knot. First part of your knot. And then you're going to bring your short one through. Do your second knot. Bring it up. And tie it into place. Just don't want to pull too tight because you don't want to lose this little strand back here that you have going through there. We're going to do maybe one more with this little short cord and then we can push it to the back. So let's go ahead and take both the short cord and the long cord in gray, put them behind our white. Okay, make your first knot. Put it up into place. Make your loop for your second knot. Pull your little short strand through. And pull up. Beautiful. And that is how you add on cord. We're going to maybe do one more with the short one. Just to make sure it's in there good. Okay, so tighten down your white cord. Take your long gray cord, make your first loop. Put it up into place. Make your second loop. Pull your short gray one through it. Give it a little tug. And it's in place. So that was 3 of them with that gray in between it. So we're going to go ahead and just put the gray in the back. That little short gray one, we're just going to put it in the back. Out of sight, out of mind for the moment. We're going to finish up these last 2 here. Give it a little bit of a tug. And to finish it off with your second knot. Now we have one last one to do. Okay, so we make our little knot here, make our second knot, and that tightens it in place. And there is row 1 of 31. Here we go. Row 1 of 31. I think it looks pretty good. So to start your next row, you're going to do the exact same thing, only you're going to be working back this way. So you're going to make your loop on the opposite side. What I mean by that is you're going to take your gray, take your first white section, bring it to the front like you have for all the rest of them. Bring it to the front. Now you're going to actually take and make your loop over here. Go behind. Pull it through the loop. And give it a light tug up. You can position it into place if you need to. And then you're going to do the same thing over again. So you're going to take it over the 2 white strands, behind them, under and through them. So you're doing the same thing you did on the other side, you're just working backwards. Okay, so you pick up your next one, bring it to the front, make your loop, pull it through, tighten it into place, make your second loop, and tighten it into place. You don't want these too tight because it will start to buckle and then your project will have like a wave on the end instead of it being a nice straight line. So you're just going to make sure you don't make it too terribly tight and keep an eye on the tension when you're making your knots. So here we go. I'm going to put it in fast forward and we're just going to finish up this line in gray. Okay, so row number 2 is done. So we are going to start row number 3. And I kind of ran out of my gray here finishing up that row. So we're just going to leave those hang out in the back. And they'll get tied down later. We're going to get our next gray out and go ahead and attach it. So again, just take your tail through, leave it underneath as if it was already there. Take your cord on top, make your loop over, go behind and through. Bring that up. Do the same thing, over, behind, around, and through. And that's going to get us our next one ready. So we just kind of give it a little tug, not too much, just a little. There we go. Now we're ready to begin again. We're going to go ahead and do row number 3, which is all gray as well. So we finished our first 3 rows of gray. That was 31 knots across. We're down 3 rows. We're on our 4th row. We're on the right hand side and we're coming back to the left. So we want to do 15 in gray, 1 white, and then 15 in gray. So that's what we're working on right now. So we still have our working cord here. It's quite long, so we're just going to continue using it. And we're just going to continue making the same knot. All right, let's check and see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We need 1 more in gray, but we're going to add some white in. So to do that, we're going to do our first part of our knot in gray. Okay. Start your second knot, but leave it as a loop. Grab some white. $60 to 80 centimeters of working is fine. Okay, then you're going to put that through here. Put that tail through. You can leave a little extra tail. You're going to cut it off when you're done, but you don't want it to be too short. Okay, and then we're just going to pull that knot up there, just like that. Okay, then we're going to take this tail and we're going to put it in the back gently. You don't want to pull on it too tight. Just kind of get that up and out of the way so you can see what you're working with. Okay, we just finished 15 gray. We added our white on, so now we're going to put our gray down for a minute. Pick up our white. Yeah, gray in the back. Pick up your white. We're going to do 1 of the clove hitch or vertical double half hitch knots, whichever you want to call them. We're just going to do 1, and you do it really lightly because you don't want that cord that's in the back there to get pulled through. You want that to stay in place. And then on your second one, you're going to take your gray and bring it through. And then close that knot. Just like that. Now we're going to hide this white because we don't need it until we come back all the way back across, because we're going to do 15 gray and then come back across before we need the white again. So this white is going to stay in the back. The gray is going to come in the front. And pick up your next working cords or filler cords. And then you're going to work your gray in. Lightly. Not too snug, but not too loose. Okay. And then we have to do total 15 to get all the way across. I have a feeling we're going to have to change out and get some more gray to get that accomplished, but for now we have enough to work with it, so let's just continue on with our gray. Okay, so that takes care of 15 gray from the center white. So we are good to go on that line. We started on the right on row 4. We did 15 gray, 1 white, and then 15 gray. So now we're on the left, working our way to the right. So as you see here, we're going to do 14 gray, 3 white, 14 gray. All right, let's get started. This should be number 14 of gray. You can double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 14 in gray. So now we need to find that white cord that we had earlier that was hanging out when we added. We're going to go ahead and do 3 white, and we're going to pull this gray cord through our white cord as we're working with it. So again, make your first knot. Whoops, I'm going in the wrong direction. Let me start over again. Take that back out. I was working the wrong way. Okay, start again. So you do your first knot, lightly, not too hard or heavy. Make your second part of your knot, pull your gray through, and then tighten it. Bring your gray back down to the bottom. Pick up your next 2, bring them to the front. Make your first knot. Make your second knot. Pull your gray through and tighten it up. You're going to bring your gray back down. Pick up your next 2, bring them into the front. Make your knot. Nice little tug. Make your knot. Pull your gray through and tighten. Okay. That is our 3 white. So we need to do the remainder 14 in gray. So we're going to drop this white cord into the back again. Pick up our next two. We're going to work them in. So there's one of 14 grays. So let's just go ahead and speed that up a little bit. Okay. And that completes row number 5. Putting 3 white ones in the center. So we started from left and worked our way right. And we did 14 gray, 3 white, and 14 gray. I highlight this just to make it easier as a quick reference to look over and see exactly where you're at. So I can just quickly look and see, okay, I'm on row 6. Okay, I have 15 gray, 1 white, and 15 gray. So I'm repeating the same thing that I did up in line number 4. But we're going to do 15, 1, and 15. Okay. And there we go. That is row 6. So let's go ahead and highlight that. We started on the right and we worked our way to the left. So we were on row 6. We did 15 gray, 1 white, and 15 gray. So we are on the left. We're working our way to the right. This one's going to be a little bit more involved. We are doing 7 gray, 1 white, 5 gray, and then we're alternating white, gray, white, gray, white, 5 gray, 1 white, 7 gray. That's a lot of alternating that's going to be happening here. So let's get ready to do that. We got our 7 in gray, and now we need to do 1 in white. I could take the white that I'm using here and just run it across, but you're going to get a really long piece of white in the back that's not going to look very appealing. So I'm going to start a new white for doing the work down in this area. We are going to go ahead and drop this gray one. We're done with it. We're going to take it to the back. And then we need to get another piece of white. Okay. So we're going to add a white right here. You treat this like you would make any other knot. Just hold on to the loose string so that it doesn't come completely undone while you're making this knot. Once you get your second one done, you can kind of pull them together, make them a little bit tighter but not too tight, push them up into place, and then you can tighten it in. Your white strand is going to go in the back. And then you have your long white working cord that you can continue with. But for this one, we're only doing 1 white, and then we're switching it over to gray. So I think what I'm going to do is actually loosen this cord by 1. So I can put a new gray cord in to get started. So just loosen that second part of the knot that you did. And you can fit another gray one in at this point. Whoops. There we go. So let's get us a gray piece. And we're going to put that through that loop, pull it out the other side, give it a little bit of a tail. Then we're going to tighten that white one back up. There we go. So it has a little bit of a tail there. Now we're ready to start with our gray cord. So we're going to just drop our white one in the back. And you don't want to pull too tight on this because you'll see it's going to pull this cord shorter until it falls out, and you don't want it to fall out. So give it a little bit of a tug, but not too tight. We're going to pick up our next working cords here, our filler cords. Use our working cord over our filler cord. There we go. And we are doing 5 in gray. So again, don't pull this too tight or this little piece of your gray will come out. So you just want to make that a loose knot. And you tighten it a little bit more with this one. Once you have that in place, you can take your little gray working cord and put it in the back so it's out of the way. And then you can continue on. And we need to do 5 in gray. So now we're going to drop this gray one down. We're going to pick up our long white cord that we were working with here, which is right here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and make our knot, our first knot, make our second knot, and pull the gray through. Okay. Then you're going to drop the white one, because we're going back and forth. We're going to be doing white, gray, white, gray, white. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing over and over again. We're just going to keep feeding these back and forth. So this one goes on top. Your white goes on bottom. So let's readjust that. The white goes on the bottom. Your next one goes on top. Then you're going to do your gray. You're going to do one to get it started. Make your second one. Pull that white cord through and tighten it up. Looking good. Okay, same thing. We're just going to switch it up. We want the white one now. So we pick up our next two cords, put our white one in the front, make our first knot, start our second knot, pull our gray cord through, tighten our white one. Starting to look really cute. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're switching them back up again. So we're dropping our white cord, picking up our gray cord, pick up our next two cords, bring them to the top, make your first knot, get it in place, make your second knot, pull your white cord through, tighten your gray knot, and that is looking really good. We're going to do the same thing again, because now we want another white. So we're going to pick up the next two, bring them on top, tie our first knot, get it in place, start our second knot, pull our gray through, and there it is, the white one. So now it's calling for us to do 5 in gray. Here's 4. Pull it through, tighten it up. Once you get the hang of it, it kind of goes pretty quickly. It's just getting used to it. At first, that's a little bit harder to do, I guess. It's just maybe because I was used to doing it a different way, and then I saw it being done like this, and it's supposed to give you a cleaner back. So I thought, you know, I want my pieces to look a little more professional. I want them to look nicer. So if this is going to make it look nicer, let me give it a try. So that's what we're doing right now. Trying a different technique of hiding cords so that it's not so bad in the back. So we needed 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whoops, I didn't pull that through. I was talking. Let me loosen this one up. I didn't pull my white cord through. Just loosen that a little bit. Get your white cord, pull it through there. then tighten it up. That's what I get for trying to multitask. Okay, now we're ready to do one in white. So we're dropping the gray, picking up our next one, making the first knot, getting it in place, start your second knot, pull your cord through, tighten your white. There you go. And we only need one white, the rest is going to be gray. So we're just going to drop the white again, pick up the next cord, and we're going to do gray, and it looks like it's saying 7 of them to finish it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's just speed through this. So we went from left to right. We did 7 gray, a white, 5 gray, then we alternated white and gray, then we did 5 more in gray, a white, and then finished it off with 7 in gray. So as you can see here, we're going to be starting on the right on row number 8. And we need 6 gray, then 2, 1, 1, 4 gray, 3 white, 4 gray, 1, 1, 2, and then 6 gray. So we're just going to go ahead and plug along. That completes row 8. So in row 8, we just finished row 8. 6, 2, 1, 1, 4. Then 3 and 4. Then 1, 1, 2, and 6. Okay. So now we're working our way from the left to the right. So we're going to do 9, 1, 1, 1, 3 gray, 1, 3 gray, 1, 1, 1, and then 9 gray. So we're going to start with our knots here, and we're going to do 9 of them across. We want to float the white. This white cord is the long one from up here. So we want to float that cord. So we want to take the filler cord on top, make our first knot with our gray, start our second knot, and pull the white through. Then go ahead and tighten up your gray for your second part. And you're ready to move on. Bring that white one back down. Pick up your next 2. Put them on top. Make your first knot. Start your second knot. Pull your white cord through. Finish your second knot. Okay, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have one more to do. Okay, make our first knot, make our second knot, pull our white cord through, tighten down our second knot. So that should be 9. 9, yes. So now we want to do 1 white. We want to do 1 white. Make your second one, pull your gray through, and then tighten it. Then we're going to do 1 gray. Pull your white through. Then we're going to do one white. Make your second one. Pull your gray through and tighten it. All right, let's take a look here. So we're doing 9 gray, 1 white, 1 gray, 1 white, and then 3 gray. So we want to switch this out. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 gray. And there's your 3 gray. So let's just take a moment and look at what we have going on here. So we did our 9 gray. We did 1 white. We did 1 gray, 1 white, 3 gray. And now we're to the center. So we're going to do 1 white, and then we're going to do everything we just did, but backwards. So now we just need to finish coloring in this row where we finished the other half. And we're ready to move on to the next row. So we are on line number 10.